So we did an inclusive chest and breastfeeding conference, which brought together midwifery students, nursing students, food nutrition students, as well as community members, healthcare providers, to come and talk about breast and chest feeding and really dive deep into that topic, and especially for communities that aren't necessarily brought to the forefront.
We kind of started out by having more informative discussions in the morning. By the afternoon, we wanted to hear more from parents. So we had a racialized parent panel and a queer parent panel. And then we finished off the event with workshops. It was a good way for us to include other voices and hear from voices that aren't just the ones in our textbooks.
I felt really good about it at the end. I heard from a lot of the participants that they were really thrilled with all the things they learned. There were things that they had never heard of, there were things that they hadn't considered that they then used in practice.
The Bridge program is a program that focuses on supporting Black students in post-secondary education environments in terms of increasing their levels of engagement, their levels of retention, and their graduation rates.
It changed my life. It made me think about my identity and trajectory, kind of talking about 20-year plans and support and networking and all of those important things.
Typically, what we start off by doing is supporting the students in engaging in a critical analysis of the messages that society has provided to Black students with regards to their capacity, possibilities, and their options.
Because you're in university, you think you're going to do well, but they push you that extra step and just give you the confidence and the support that we may not get in other places or from other professors.
It is important for us to see more Black students going on to do master's and PhD programs to ensure that they've got the education and skill sets to be able to enter a range of viable career positions.
The fund allowed us to host an Indigenous Perspectives in Planning symposium. And that idea was nurtured out of our EDI committee at the graduate level in the School of Urban and Regional Planning.
The event kind of circled around finding ways to discuss planning with an Indigenous lens and trying to refocus how planning, which is, quite a colonial concept, and how it can kind of blend more into truth and reconciliation and Indigenous resurgence.
It was a great opportunity for us to bring all these experts together. It's our keynote, Elaine Alec, she came all the way from BC, and all of our panelists and our keynote speakers are all Indigenous, and to really learn firsthand from them, from their experiences, of course, as practitioners, but as individuals who come from that intersection working in this space.
What we wanted to do really is to speak to students who both identify as BIPOC and disabled, either or, and also to white students, or students who don't identify as racialized, to both understand, is there something missing from the work that the faculty is doing, that the department is doing, and could potentially getting people to talk anonymously generate information that we can then apply and improve essentially their experiences as both disabled, racialized, and non-racialized students.
It was a really generative way of coming together and sharing knowledge and imagining not just future directions, but also kind of affirming the experience that they've had in the program so far.
We knew that we were doing two things at once, and that's why, Lydia Brown was so important, because her work has always been intersectional, right? Her work has always been about the connections between disability and race. So they started us off really on a conversation. I think getting, people of color into a room together and telling them, hey, give us a list of things you want changed, and then actually doing that change is kind of really good anti-racist work.
The funding is important for ensuring that these type of events can continue to happen, because the problem is not going to go away, but these conversations can maybe lead elsewhere.
This is made for and by students. It's students from beginning to end. Students have been asking for quite some time for tools that will actually teach them how to be inclusive in their language with each other, how to be inclusive with their clients that they're seeing in the community, and how to be change agents that are engaging and constructive in our organization. And so we made infographics that were very colorful. We made some videos on topics that were important to them. Some of the videos we created, they give an example of how to implement equity into their clinical work. You know, what is racism? What is microaggression? And define some of those things. We only got to the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more that we could do. And in fact, we have a long list of other topics for videos. We need funding to make equity work and to operationalize our ideas.